watching UE News with Lottie Baisley.
Good afternoon and welcome to UE News. I'm Lottie Baisley. Staff at Bristol Royal Infirmary today joined a national strike in demand for better pay for NHS workers. Members of the NHS have not received a pay rise above inflation since 2009 and now 60% are refused one. Only those at the top of their bands will receive a 1% unconsolidated lump sum, which is a one-off payment that does not alter their hourly rate. A third of the non-medical NHS staff don't get enough pay to live off, receiving less than £21,000 a year. Last year, over 10,000 people lost their jobs because of NHS restructuring. The government has tried to argue that cutting pay means more jobs, but in fact it's making cuts to both pay and jobs.
Well, for the last few years, the NHS hasn't received a pay rise in line with inflation, and the pay review body actually recommended a 1% increase across the board, but the government has decided to ignore that and not implement it. Yes.
It has been reported that the strikes will continue until May next year unless further talks are agreed. Police have just confirmed that the man whose body was found at Clifton Downs in Bristol yesterday died from natural causes. Avon and Somerset police officers were called on Sunday morning to reports of a dead man found near Ladies Mile. The roads around the Downs were closed, causing diversions for drivers. The road was reopened this afternoon. We spoke to a passerby who was surprised to hear the news.
And I was very shocked actually, because you rarely find things like that happening around Bristol. And I suppose this is such a quiet area, so immediately I thought, oh my gosh, what's happened? My thoughts are really with the family, because it must be really, really sad for anyone to lose someone, especially now at Christmas.
A body was also found in Netham Lock at the weekend. The two incidents are not reported to be connected or of any suspicion. Teachers are facing the axe across the biggest college in the city this winter. 30,000 students who are studying at the City of Bristol College are said to lose a large number of teachers next month. A fifth of teaching posts will be cut due to a reduction in funding. The college has been suffering for the past 2 years by failing to issue grades for their students and receiving a bad report from Ofsted. There were a considerable amount of teachers that lost their jobs in February, and now they face further losses. These losses are likely to fall on teaching roles which have gaps in their timetables due to a shortage of students. In the meantime, they are closing the doors for good on 90 full-time teachers. A judge has been asked to dismiss the trial of Shrien Dewani, the man accused of murdering his wife on their honeymoon. The Bristol-based businessman is accused of setting up the murder of his wife Annie in Cape Town in 2010. The defence lawyers claim that a key prosecution witness has proved to be completely unreliable and that there isn't enough evidence for prosecution. If accepted, this could mean that Mr Dewani could clear his name and be back in Bristol later this week. Hacktoff director Joan Smith comes to Bristol's Watershed Cinema for a one-off talk. The Hacktoff campaign works closely with victims of media abuse for a free and accountable press. Joan Smith spoke at the Leveson Inquiry last year, which investigated the state of our media following the phone hacking scandal. Her talk tonight will discuss the ongoing trial to bring back ethics into the heart of the British media. UE lecturer and director of charity MediaWise, Mike Jempson, will be attending the talk tonight.
In some ways, Leveson has given people an opportunity to become better journalists. The whole idea of Leveson was to come up with a better system of regulation of the British press. What we've got is actually a dog's dinner. So it'll be interesting to see how people respond to that sort of conflict, which we'll be talking about, I hope, this evening.
And before we leave you, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the Bristol area for the next 24 hours with Vicky.
It's a very chilly start to the day here in Bristol with widespread frost. Despite the wintry weather, it's going to be a bright and dry day with plenty of sunshine, with temperatures expected to reach highs at 8 to 9 degrees. Some local areas today have been affected by dense fog and mist patches, which are not expected to clear until late morning. Light winds and clear skies can be expected tonight, with temperatures dropping to freezing. There will be another very cool start for tomorrow, and any remaining fog will clear. While brighter spells are possible for a time, cloud will continue spreading northwards, bringing outbreaks of rain by the afternoon. Temperatures on average will be around 3 to 4 degrees. Wednesday is expected to be fairly similar, with higher speed winds and variable clouds with showers, with temperatures reaching highs of 9 degrees. The week ahead is looking to be equally grey and chilly, so be sure to wrap up warm. This is Vicky Johnson for UE News.
The Met Office have just sent out a warning of dense fog this evening, affecting most of the areas of the southwest, so do take care if you use the roads tonight. Well, that's all from us at UE News. We'll be back next week on the radio.